Tooth eruption is the axial movement of a tooth from its developmental position within the jawbone into the oral cavity until it reaches functional occlusion with the opposing tooth. This is not a simple upward movement. It is a continuous, carefully regulated biological process involving bone remodeling, periodontal ligament activity, and tissue growth that ensures proper positioning of every tooth. Eruption can also be classified as active or passive. Active eruption refers to the actual occlusal movement of the tooth toward its functional position. Passive eruption, on the other hand, does not involve tooth movement. Instead, the gingiva gradually migrates apically, exposing more of the anatomical crown over time. Together, these two processes help establish and maintain the normal clinical crown. Tooth eruption occurs in three distinct phases. The first is the pre-eruptive phase, during which the developing tooth germ moves within the jaw as the surrounding jaws continue to grow. The second is the eruptive or pre-functional phase. This begins with root formation and continues as the tooth moves through the bone and gingiva until it reaches the oral cavity and contacts its opposing tooth. Finally comes the post-eruptive phase. Even after eruption is complete, teeth continue making small adjustments throughout life to compensate for jaw growth and the wear produced during chewing. Several theories have been proposed to explain the mechanism of tooth eruption. The root growth theory suggests that elongating roots push the tooth upward. The bone remodeling theory proposes that selective bone formation and resorption create an eruption pathway. The vascular pressure theory attributes eruption to hydrostatic pressure around the tooth. However, the most widely accepted theory today is the periodontal ligament traction theory. According to this theory, fibroblasts within the periodontal ligament generate traction through collagen fiber remodeling, pulling the tooth into its eruptive position while surrounding bone continuously remodels to accommodate the movement. The eruption pathway of permanent teeth is guided by a small channel called the gubernacular canal. This canal contains the gubernacular cord, which is made of remnants of the dental lamina. As the permanent tooth develops, this structure helps guide it toward the oral cavity by providing an eruption pathway through the overlying bone. The rate of eruption changes during different stages. While the tooth is still enclosed within bone, eruption is relatively slow, occurring at approximately 1 to 10 micrometers per day. Once the tooth emerges from its bony crypt, the eruption rate increases dramatically to approximately 75 micrometers per day until it reaches occlusion. As the permanent tooth develops beneath the primary tooth, the body begins preparing for the transition from the primary dentition to the permanent dentition. This process is called exfoliation, which simply means the natural shedding or loss of a primary tooth. The key event behind exfoliation is root resorption. Specialized cells called odontoclasts gradually dissolve the roots of the primary tooth. As more of the root is resorbed, the tooth loses its support and becomes loose. At the same time, the erupting permanent tooth continues moving toward the oral cavity, replacing the primary tooth in its normal position. Eventually, almost the entire root disappears. The primary tooth falls out naturally, and the permanent tooth erupts into the space. This well-coordinated process ensures a smooth transition from the primary dentition to the permanent dentition, allowing normal growth and development of the dental arch. The cells responsible for root resorption are called odontoclasts. These are large, multinucleated giant cells that closely resemble osteoclasts. They actively resorb cementum, dentin, and even surrounding bone by secreting acids and enzymes. One important characteristic of odontoclasts is their high acid phosphatase activity, making this a favorite examination point. The pattern of root resorption depends on the position of the developing permanent tooth. In primary incisors, the permanent successors develop on the lingual side, so root resorption usually begins on the lingual surface. In primary molars, the developing premolars lie between the roots, causing resorption to begin along the inner surfaces of the roots. This relationship explains why different primary teeth show different resorption patterns. Understanding tooth eruption is essential in clinical dentistry because disturbances in eruption can lead to several common conditions. First, delayed eruption. This occurs when a tooth appears in the mouth much later than expected. Causes may include lack of space, impacted teeth, systemic conditions, or developmental disturbances. Next is over-eruption, also called supra-eruption. This happens when a tooth has no opposing tooth, or antagonist. Without contact from the opposite tooth, it continues to erupt beyond the normal biting level, which can interfere with chewing and future dental treatment. Finally, a submerged tooth. This is most commonly seen in an ankylosed primary or deciduous tooth, where the tooth becomes fused directly to the surrounding bone. Since it cannot continue erupting with the growing jaws, it gradually appears lower than the neighboring teeth, creating a sunken or submerged appearance. Recognizing these eruption abnormalities early allows dentists to plan timely treatment and prevent future problems with occlusion and tooth alignment. Let's quickly revise the most important examination points. There are three phases of tooth eruption. The most accepted theory of tooth eruption is the periodontal ligament traction theory. The cells responsible for root resorption are odontoclasts. The gubernacular cord guides the eruption of permanent teeth. The key enzyme associated with root resorption is acid phosphatase. Understanding these concepts forms the foundation for oral histology, pediatric dentistry, orthodontics, and periodontology, and they are among the most frequently tested topics in BDS and NEET MDS examinations. Thank you for watching.